Hey everybody, I'm Piper. I run this joint. I am jumping on here real quick to explain how I treat the cats for fleas. Now, up until recently, we could only get flea treatment that was expensive as hell. And so recently I've actually seen some of the considered off-brands or different brands that are mimicking or knockoffs, as you would say, the generic brand of different flea treatments. I'm just now seeing those over the last year. But I started this process before that, and I don't recommend to do it this way, and I'm not going to give it incredibly detailed information here because I don't want you to be dumb. I'm not really great with math sometimes, and I get confused with like the amount of something, and then there's the dosage inside that amount, etc. I get confused sometimes. I understand it, but then sometimes my brain just does not compute. And I also use Omni calculator to do dosages and things like that and figure out how to make medicine a liquid a lot of times, etc., etc. Now, they're hungry, so they're going to start throwing a hissy fit. I do flea treatment mostly around the time that they're going to eat, because some of them, a lot of them will start getting the idea of what I'm doing, and they don't like taking medicine, and they really don't, they don't want to do any of that. They don't really understand that it's flea treatment at the time, but they'll run from us, and it's a pain in the butt. I usually have Jason catch the cat, whoever I'm dosing then at the time, and then I'll run a flea comb. This is my favorite one. I've clearly used it a lot. Through their hair in the hot spots and stuff, and get as many fleas as possible, flea exit if that's what's going on. It's not quite been a month since we did our last treatment. This is going to be the last round that I can afford at the moment. We are purely on donations at this point. That's why I buy overseas to get it cheaper, and I get it in bulk if I can, or someone else gets for me, and then I dose it out per weight. Now, I did do exactly per weight for a long time, and it's just a lot of work because I'm scared I'm going to make a mistake. So I have to go back over 3 or 4 times, even though I've been doing this for a long time. I don't always trust that I've made the right decision in the moment. I have to go through the whole process of learning it again, or making sure that I'm remembering it correctly, even though I have notes. That's just me. So it is a whole huge process in doing it, and I usually copy off my last notes, and I keep those. Now, again, I typically use 8 of these little tubes, 8 for 40 cats. Okay, that's from kittens to, we have some fatties, okay? Couldn't stretch it anymore. So sometimes they'll tell you can get 5 cats out of 1. It depends on what you're using, depending on the medicine dosage in these. Now I'm going to go over this really quick, and you can look it up if that's your own deal. It's not recommended. That is why you need a prescription, because people make horrible choices, okay? There are different activating ingredients, medications in dogs and cat treatment, period. Some is bad for cats, some are okay for dogs, but they don't really use them for dogs, etc., and all that, okay? Now, I don't know the details of the dogs, but this is how I roll. Ivermectin is one that's highly used for dogs, but it's not recommended for cats. I think years ago I've seen it before, but cats were getting sick. Now, there are different types of brands. So Revolution Plus was always one of the best ones that I found. I loved it. It was when we had ear mites, when the majority of these cats came over from my neighbors. Now, we use that, but I eventually got the ear mite cleaner for them, and then I still use this mint one here for the boys that have like cauliflower ears and stuff. So that's something that I do for them already, and we don't have any problems with ear mites. Now, as far as the flea treatment goes, I make my list. This is my paper. I totaled it. It's 40 cats total. Now there's a bunch on here that I have a 0 on, and it's not, they don't actually have anything. Why? Because either they haven't been venturing around here long enough, or I haven't weighed them, or I didn't have enough flea treatment, or they're in this house and they're feral still, and they have been for years. So there are several that I don't treat because I can't pet them, and others because I can't get around them. Now, Malbius and Vecna, they both need flea treatment. I need to reweigh them. They're heavy guys, so sometimes I kind of get a general idea. Vecna's mad at me right now because he's been sick, and I tried to clean his eye, and he like attacked my hand the other day because he was just not having it. And Malbius I need to get fixed anyway, so I don't have that weight. But usually once I have them fixed, I go off of the paperwork that I get from there and kind of generalize their weight from that point on if I need to. And I always, hey, stop it. Stop it. Who's having an issue? CC? No, it was London. Okay. So that's what I do from there. I don't always recommend it unless you have a general idea. Has their weight changed? Do you know what's going on with them? And so that's what I do. And I typically try to undershoot it a little bit. Now, if you look at the different sizes of, like, say, Revolution for cats, they only have 3 of them. The Revolution Plus has Solaner. So I'm sure y'all have seen these kind of pictures here. And there's different weights, and that's the plus one. Now, for 5 cats, for 6 months, it cost me over $500 for 6 months for 5 cats at the time. Why is this not focusing on me? Hi. And that's just insane. That's insane. I typically buy several boxes of the Stronghold, which is a kind of a generic version of the Revolution, regular one, not Plus. And I spend $100 for one treatment for all the cats here. Now, that's not normal for, I don't know what I was saying. Anyway, I got distracted. Jumping back, so the Revolution Plus, the weights are like 2.8 to 5.5. Then there's 5.6 to 11 and 11.1 to 22 for the cats. It's different for dogs. Now, if you go to the website, their website about with Revolution, it'll tell you the dosage. If you look up this, there's always little paperwork and everything that you get. It teaches you how many milligram dosage per each. And on there, it says it's 2.7 milligrams of selamectin per pound. You got to know all this stuff. Again, I use Omni Calculator, and even then, as much as I do it all the time, I get confused, okay? So I don't recommend this unless you are a double, triple, quadruple checker like I am, and you know what you're doing, okay? I still say I don't know what I'm doing, and I've been doing this forever, so don't recommend it if you don't really feel confident making sure that you are doing this correctly. Does that make sense? I've been doing it a long time. It's not my field of study, so it should be, because at this point I feel like an expert. Anyway, if you go in there, it tells you the different colors and what are the breakdowns of the sizes of how much. Okay, now it's different if you buy these overseas or you get the knockoffs now, which you can get these local, but I get them cheaper overseas, okay? You have to double check that things are correct. These stuff from overseas are in kilograms. We don't usually do everything in kilograms. Now, I'm buying dog flea treatment to treat cats. And I can go by every little point of their weight, and I have done it before. It's just a pain. I, particularly me, break it down in 4 different weight sizes, weight categories, based on, 1, my comparison of my experience with these cats and what shelter medicine says that they use versus what the Zoetis says, which is the creator of the medicine, says about what you should dose. Now, they generalize it a lot more than shelter medicine does or than I do, but I break it down because of different sizes of cats and different experiences of what flea treatment works and what doesn't. Now, right now, since it's been raining and everything going on and just being stupid in Texas, we've gotten fleas sooner than it's time to treat them earlier. Now, so I'll go through with a comb. It's great that I like these combs too, because then you can squish the bug. So I'll comb them before, and right now we don't have eggs, which is great. So I'm going to treat them again. Jason usually goes and snags the cat. I dose them and get ready for the other ones. Now I use these little syringe, whatever. It goes up to 0.5 milliliters. Now I am working with several at this time now. My counter's all messed up, but you get the idea of what it looks like. Okay, so this is how I prepare. I have my list of what my dosage is. As they get it, I'm going to mark it off as trash. I only open one of these at a time because it's made with rubbing alcohol, and that evaporates quickly. So if you dump it all out, one, you could be using more than you need to, and two, it evaporate and you're not getting the correct dosage. So then I put them in these, which then it won't. In my experience, it hasn't evaporated while they're in here. But this is the longest they've stayed in this, unless they go into the fridge to be protected. If I have too much. And then I do as many as I have here, write them down on the side, and then I dose them and do it again. So it's a process. Jason catches the cats, and I prep and then give them as he's holding them. Plus, they usually know what's going on if I'm walking around trying to find them. And if Jason does it, they do not. They don't run from him with this situation as they would with me. So it's a whole, and even though he's not close like I am with many of them, they don't expect him. So yeah, I also recommend, if you're going to do this, keep them in a Ziploc bag or something like that, and keep the caps, because these will never ever be used for medicine ever again. Because that's just a no-go. Don't do that. And so I'll close them up. I'll put the tip in there, and I'll put them back in the Ziploc bags. Now I use these. I found it on Temu. They're for your nails and stuff. So I use it to dose the cats with. I do as much as I can, and then again, flea treatment and do it again. Now I'm going to reiterate this. If you're using dog medicine for fleas, which is not recommended, it's off-label, you need to know that in each color, they do it by colors, like this is teal, okay? The place that I get mine, or the cheapest that I found, is, well, you can only get the teal right now. The higher ones is plum, and I say higher, bigger dog, so an 85-pound to 135-pound dog. Those are the plum ones. You can't find them. And if you did, it's a miracle, because all the shelters probably scooped them all up before you could get around there, okay? That is the biggest bang for your buck. And it holds 360 milligrams of medicine in a 3 milliliter tube, okay? It's different than the teal one. The ones I have here, the largest I could find is for a 40-pound dog to 40 to 85-pound dog. It only has, I say only, but it has 240 milligrams per 2 milliliters. Now, no comparison-wise, it doesn't really matter, but what I do know is that is less milligrams than the plum one. If you find the plum and you overdose your cat, you might kill them. So don't do that, okay? And then as you go lower, like there's a 120 milligram one, a 60 milligram, etc. As I said, the minimum dosage for them is 2.7 milligrams per pound. Okay. Now, if you don't know math and you don't know all that, well, how much is 2.7 milligrams per the size, the weight of it? You need to know all that stuff. That's math. I'm not that. Nope. Okay, so you need to understand that there's a difference in milligram strength and all that. Okay, so if you're going to do this, you need to do your research first. I don't recommend it any other way than that. So that's all I'm going to say about that. So that's how I handle the cats. That's how I dose them, and what I do to give them flea treatment for 40 cats. possibly more if I have extra, medicine left. But yeah, I'm going to start doing more of these videos. I do want to reiterate that I have been posting more of my videos that I've had lingering for a very long time. It's not that I don't still have all of these cats that I talked about before, or if you've seen me on my other social media channels and stuff like that. I do have them. I'm just behind on everything, and I don't really have a chance to post constantly. It's just not the thing. So I'm trying to feel like I'm catching up on YouTube for a minute. That's why I leave the date on there. So it's dated back to 2021 at this point. Something in my pocket. So I am trying to catch up. I'm trying to get those pumped out for you. Some of them are stupid, but you'll see the contrast of how my life has changed with cats. And some silliness and everything like that. But I'm trying to add more of educational stuff and how I handle the cats, how I treat them, the dosage is. We can talk about diatomaceous earth, wet food, microchips, ear mite treatment, ear treatment, cleaning, disinfecting, the boxes, how I handle all of that. Love all that. So let me know if you have any questions about anything, or you would like to learn about anything else. Otherwise, give us a share. If you can donate, we would be really grateful and thankful that you did. Make sure that you subscribe and hit that like button at the bottom. Thanks. Bye.